Imagine a world where no cities exist, no roads, no maps, and no technology. A world covered by wild forests, raging rivers, and endless oceans. This is Earth, tens of thousands of years ago. And in this ancient world, early humans stood on the edge of water, staring at something they could not fully understand, a vast, mysterious barrier that separated them from new lands, new food, and new possibilities. But humanity has always been driven by curiosity. And it was this curiosity that would push early humans toward one of their most important inventions, the raft, and later, the boat. Long before history was written, early humans noticed something incredibly simple. After storms, rivers carried broken branches, leaves, and entire logs downstream. Some logs floated effortlessly, even with animals sitting on them. This simple observation sparked an idea. If the river could carry wood, maybe it could carry humans too. At first, these thoughts were nothing more than experimentation. Children played with sticks in shallow water. Hunters pushed fallen logs into streams to cross faster. Families built makeshift platforms from branches when floods swept across their camps. These moments were not inventions, but they were the seeds of one. Over generations, people learned which woods floated best, which logs stayed balanced, and how to bind materials using vines, roots, and dried plant fibers. And slowly, over thousands of years, humans created something new, the first raft. These rafts were simple, flat structures made of long branches tied tightly together. They weren't elegant, but they floated. They could carry meat, tools, firewood, and even people. For the first time in human history, water was no longer a barrier. But the true revolution came when humans learned how to shape wood. Stone tools improved. Fire became easier to control. And with these advancements, humans discovered an extraordinary technique, hollowing a log using fire. They would burn the inside of a thick tree trunk, then scrape out the charred wood with stone axes and shells. This method allowed them to create a strong, stable hollow shape, and with it, the world's first dugout canoe. These canoes were faster, lighter, and far easier to steer than rafts. They allowed hunters to glide across lakes silently, surprising fish and water animals. They allowed families to travel long distances along rivers. They even allowed communities to escape predators or hostile tribes quickly. This single invention dramatically increased survival. But more importantly, it expanded the human world. As generations passed, boat-building knowledge became a powerful form of wisdom. Elder craftsmen knew which trees bent without breaking. They knew how long vines needed to dry before becoming strong ropes. They understood the balance between width for stability and narrowness for speed. Humans began treating water as a path, not a barrier. But nothing prepared humanity for the next bold step, crossing the open sea. Around 65,000 years ago, early humans living in Southeast Asia faced an enormous challenge. Beyond the horizon lay new lands, including the continent that would one day be known as Australia. It wasn't visible from the shore. The ocean seemed endless, dangerous, and unpredictable. No one had ever attempted such a journey before. But humans had changed. Courage had grown stronger than fear. Curiosity had grown stronger than caution. Communities began building larger rafts using bamboo, a material that floats naturally and remains strong even after months of exposure to water. They used ropes made from palm fibers, animal hides for water storage, and sharpened wooden stakes for protection. They studied the movement of ocean waves, the direction of winds, and the migration patterns of birds. Some individuals became the first navigators, people who understood the sea better than anyone else. They could read the stars as if they were ancient maps. They could feel the wind and predict weather. They could smell distant land carried by ocean breezes. And then, one day, humanity pushed off the shore and entered the open ocean. For days, they paddled under burning sun and freezing nights. They faced storms, darkness, and fatigue. They listened to the waves, trusted the sky, and believed in the knowledge passed down by their ancestors. And finally, after a journey that seemed impossible, they reached new land. This was one of humanity's greatest achievements. Thousands of years before writing. Before wheels. Before cities. humans had successfully crossed an ocean. This single moment changed human history forever. Boat building became a central part of human culture across the world. On the Nile River, ancient Africans crafted light, flexible reed boats capable of carrying great loads. In Europe, tribes carved canoes over 30 feet long. In the Americas, indigenous peoples mastered sleek wooden canoes perfect for rivers, lakes, and ocean hunting. And in the Pacific, the Polynesians became the world's greatest ocean navigators, creating double-hulled canoes that sailed thousands of miles using only the stars, the wind, and the flight of birds. Where boats appeared, civilization grew. Trade networks formed. Ideas traveled. Languages mixed. Cultures spread. And humans discovered resources far beyond their original homelands. Rivers became ancient highways. Oceans became bridges between worlds. Boats became symbols of exploration, survival, and connection. Over time, humans added sails made from woven plant fibers and animal skins. They shaped hulls for better speed and stability. They created paddles, rudders, and anchors. Yet, the basic principle remained unchanged: a piece of wood floating on water, carrying a dream of going somewhere new. As tools advanced, these simple boats evolved into mighty ships capable of crossing entire oceans. But none of it would have been possible without the early humans who first tied branches together, hollowed tree trunks with fire, and dared to push into the unknown. Today, we travel across oceans in hours. We explore the world with engines, satellites, and technology. But the spirit behind these achievements is ancient, the same spirit that drove our ancestors to step onto their first wooden raft and face the vast, mysterious waters ahead. The story of rafts and boats is more than a story of invention. It is a story of courage. A story of imagination. A story of humanity refusing to stay in one place. Because from the very beginning, humans have believed in one powerful idea. If there is water before us, we will find a way to cross it. And that journey began thousands of years ago, with the first raft, built by hands that dared to dream of a world beyond the horizon.